Hi, my name is Aaron. This is my show, Reeducation. And is anarcho-communism ableist? Does it single out people that are disabled mentally or physically? When you hear the slogan, from each according to their ability, to each according to their need, does that single out people that have a disability? Well, I don't think so. In fact, I would have to say absolutely not. When you're talking about things like this, the very first thing that you have to take into consideration is that all communes, all anarcho-communist communes, might be structured differently, but the one thing that we can pretty much guarantee is that people are going to want to look out for each other. And we can see this in many different situations, in many different examples all throughout history. Whenever you see something like a hurricane happen or a natural disaster happen, the last thing that you see is chaos. Usually, people start participating in mutual aid. They'll help clear brush. They'll save people's dogs. They'll pull people out of buildings. Yeah, some food does get stolen, but that's because those people are in need. But as far as helping one another goes, that's usually a given. So if we were somehow presented with the choice between joining a community that helps out its old people, its sick people, and its disabled people, and one that didn't, which one would you choose? Because I'm pretty sure that I would choose the one that helps people, because I know that eventually I might end up in that same situation. I might end up disabled, and I certainly will end up being old. That's just a fact of life. And in my opinion, as a bona fide anarcho-communist, though I don't speak for all anarcho-communists, we are anarchists, as you know, I don't think that we should leave our people that are sick, injured, old, or disabled out on the street to die. Personally, I think that they should also have access to the same dignity, liberty, democracy, equality, and fraternity that us able-bodied people can enjoy. And like I said a minute ago, if we focus in on individual people and not think of the disabled as a monolith, some group that we need to quarantine off and put inside of a box, then we can actually focus on their individual talents and strengths. So then we can have people that are quadriplegic still being astrophysicists, or people that are blind still being able to play piano, or people that are amputees still being able to run in marathons. You would still be able to have those disabled people doing wonderful, amazing, brilliant things, and the best part about it is they wouldn't have the restrictions that they do now, such as the restrictions on education or job preference specifically determined by their socioeconomic status. If they don't have enough money because they have to spend it on, medical supplies and equipment to help them be mobile, then they're not able to spend that money on things that they might need outside of that, like higher education or being able to invest to start a business. There are serious barriers that are brought up when you have a physical or mental disability. People with mental disabilities, for example, are by far more discriminated against than any other group that is disabled. And that's because they're automatically assumed to be inferior for some reason. Even though they might be perfectly qualified to do certain jobs, they still are unable to get them because of the stigma. And yes, there are going to be those individuals that are completely incapable of contributing in any way. Their bodies are prisons, and they're unable to use them to benefit themselves or society. And we shouldn't look down on them for that. We shouldn't look at that as it's some sort of offensive thing that they did it on purpose to us, so we should punish them. We should look at that as exactly what it is. A medical disability, a problem that we want to help, solve if we can, and treat if there's nothing else we can do. Another thing to take into consideration is that anarcho-communism stresses that we take care of each other mutually, mutual aid. So that means that it's not just up to the family to take care of whoever is disabled or up to their friends. It's up to the entire community to look after each other, because we grant each other that dignity of being a human being and deserving of our mutual aid and respect. So we want to help those people. We want to get together and actually give them the aid that they need and help them find the people that can give them professional help if needed, and friendship and love and caring and all of the things that every individual, not just the disabled, but everybody needs. If we're all working together and we're all in a community helping one another, then we all benefit. It's not just a dog-eat-dog world anymore. It would be something that everyone could involve themselves in. It's a community that people could be a part of and enjoy. And when people get to help one another, that builds solidarity, that builds community, that builds strength in that area. It's something that happens in the country where I live, and it's something that American Johnson non-compete has even seen abroad in other countries. This is natural human nature. This is human behavior. We want to help each other. We want to give the benefit of community to everyone that's in it. And if somebody is in our community that is suffering from some kind of disability, we don't want to look at them as though they are aberrant or like they're doing it from some sort of deep-seated malicious intent. That doesn't make any sense. Why should people be punished for having been born a certain way? As leftists, I think most people would agree that we're kind of against that kind of thing. But that's not what capitalism does. Capitalism incentivizes us to demonize anyone that's born differently than us. We're in competition with everyone all the time the second that we are basically put into the labor force. Even before that, when we're in school, we're already in competition with people. So of course, people that do their work a little bit more slowly or people that are unable to perform certain tasks are going to be looked at as basically the worst possible thing because they aren't efficient workers. And that's all capitalism cares about, is that you are an efficient worker. It doesn't care about community. It doesn't care about solidarity. It doesn't care about love or compassion or anything else other than the bottom line. It just cares about enriching one motherfucker and making sure that all of the rest of us suffer. So there's not a lot of credibility when it comes to placing certain people in certain groups and saying that they're better than others. I personally think it's more important to focus on people on an individual basis, rather than grouping everyone inside of one homogeneous group so we can isolate them and make them feel inferior to us. At least that's the way I look at it. My name is Aaron. This is my show, Reeducation. Thanks for watching.